Hi everybody. The debate on IRs and CABS has returned to the Helix group and it is frying my head. So I thought I would do a little comparison video because it started with, oh, the new OWNHAMMER stuff is brilliant, and I said, well, if you know how to use the stock CABS properly, stock CABS can be tweaked to be just as good, and everyone was like, no, a lot of people agree with me, some people didn't, and I just don't think the stock CABS are getting a fair fight, because the IRs are 3 to 4 dBs louder, and that makes a massive difference. And well, apologies for the state of this place. I've literally just moved house, so there is my studio's not up and running, but I couldn't wait to do this because it was just messing with my head. So anyway, I've got my single chain here I've got my Fender Strat going into a placator dirty with stock CABS, or the Cali V30, one with a 57 and one with a 121, and the IRs I'm using are the new OWNHAMMER Evolution Mesa 412 with a 57 in one and a 121 in the other, so can't really get them much more similar than that. And then at the end of the chain I've got tiny bit of room reverb, and that's it. So it's not a megatone. This is all just about the comparison of the IR versus the stock CABS. So the first tone I'm going to start with will be the stock cab. I mean, that's not a bad sound. And then we'll go for the IR next. Now, a lot better, yeah. Well, the thing that I notice is that they're fuller and brighter, and also I lied to you. The first one was the IR and the second one was the stock CABS. The difference being that the stock CABS had been volume matched to the IR, and I'd utilised the mic placements and the high and low cuts, and especially the early reflections, which gives it a more cab in the room sound. But I'll do the same thing, but I'll start this time with a stock cab straight out of the Helix with nothing done to it. So early reflections on 0, high cut on 8K and low cut on 80 Hertz, and I haven't touched anything to do with the level as well, and I can understand why people say that they're not as good, because, so here we go. And then we'll go to the IR. It just sounds bigger, but that's because it's louder. So the next one, I'll start with the IR, and I'll play a riff, and then I'll play the same riff with the same kind of stuff with the stock CABS that I've utilised the early reflections, changed the high cuts and the low cuts, and put the volume up to the same level as the IR, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. So we'll start off with the IR. Yep, good. And then we'll go to the stock CABS. I think, look, don't get me wrong, the IRs are great. But I think the stock cabs could be just as good, and you don't have to thumb through thousands of IR packs to get to the tones you want. You can adjust these on the fly. And so this is the stock cabs. Now I'm going to A and B between them, and I'm going to start off with the stock cabs this time. And you know, what I hear is when I go to the IRs next to the stock cab, it sounds to start really muddy, and especially lower stuff. If you got a few pan mutes in there and stuff, it just and especially when it comes to sitting in a mix. I've noticed when I used to be IR guy all the way, and then I noticed that with IRs there was so much post EQ I had to do to get it to cut through the mix. But anyway, here we go. So we'll start off with the stock cab that has been volume matched and stuff, and I will then switch the IR, and you'll hear the difference. So to me, the IR straight away sounds muddier, and I would need to do some kind of post EQ after that. And don't forget, there is no EQ blocks in this chain. It is just really amp, cab, tiny bit of reverb, and away it goes. But the IR seems to just when against a volume matched, properly utilised stock cab, I don't think cuts it. And so instead of having to buy things and go out there and thumb through thousands and thousands of cabinets to get the sounds you want, the Helix is just brilliant when we know how to use it. I mean, when I got my first set of IRs, I was just like, oh, they're far better. But they're not. I just didn't know how to use the Helix properly. So even with the lead stuff, now forgive my guitar playing. So we'll start off with the stock cabs, and then I'll go to the IR, and the IR just sounds weak, in my opinion. The stock cabs are more there, present, certainly in a mix they set out more, and you'll hear for yourself. See, to me, that and it's music. It's all personal. But I just wanted to give the stock cabs their due. In people slate them too quickly, but I think that's because they don't know what to do, or the work that's involved is unknown to them. So anyway, thanks very much. I'm sure you will slate me in the comments, but that's what it's all about. Rock on. Peace out. Take care.